All right, David and Sly joining us again back here in the studio. We're going to talk about it. This BYU loss to Washington, it wasn't pretty. Let's start with that special teams, that punt return for the touchdown. Things weren't going right in Provo, and then that happened.
Yes. They got dominated for a great portion of this game, but with special teams, you have to know your responsibilities.
Yeah, really, it's BYU, like you said, dominated all facets of the game. But when you talk about punt coverage, there's some rules. And here you have Bo Tanner and Diane Gawoliku stack each other, which is the first no-no. Bo Tanner has the right. He's the gunner, which means you can go take a shot on the returner. But the problem is Diane Gawoliku. He's got to maintain outside leverage. You are the last man on the outside. You have to force everything back to your inside. Other guys pursuing inside. He does not do that. I mean, Aaron Fuller, who is an absolute stud for Washington, gets the edge, and nobody's catching him. And they didn't, and it's a touchdown as a result. And this one, it was just kind of it was a blow to the gut.
Bad
angles. It was kind of the nail in the coffin on this game, and it could be easily avoidable if guys are just in the right positions. And unfortunately, in that particular play, they weren't.
Yes. And then even on defense, Jacob Eason really picked you guys apart.
24-28. I mean, he had a career outing. And this play in particular is the first touchdown of the game where BYU's defense drops into a cover two. But what happens is whenever Eason breaks the pocket, you then talk about plaster rules. And when plaster rules come into effect is when he's outside, then you realize if you're right here at Diane Gawoliku, you've got to sink back. The safety takes number 2 receiver. You've got to realize your number 1's floating there somewhere. You've got to find work. You just can't sit in the flats and just guard nobody. You've got to go to the nearest guy, plaster onto him. And instead, Eason found that on the rollout, delivered a perfect ball.
You can only do cover 2 for so long. Cover 2 is supposed to take you for like short plays, really quick plays. Yeah. But if it's extended when you're only rushing 3 defenders and the quarterback's able to sit down there, you got to lock on to somebody.
You don't want to take anything away from Eason. He played very well, but BYU can't let this happen again. Toledo's right around the corner. They'd like to sling it as well.
Yeah, listen, there's a lot of stuff to work on here. And BYU continued to rush 3 and drop the 8. It didn't work this week. It worked last week against USC, but not this week. And so last 2 weeks, he has to go back to the drawing board and figure out what's going to work against Toledo.
Yeah, but also, something to highlight on offense, Matt Bushman had a really good game.
Yeah, Matt Bushman for the last few games has been almost non-existent, but finally BYU starts to move him around a little bit in the formation. You see him line up right here as a slot receiver. And it's a fantastic timing route between Zach Wilson and right there Bushman on the sideline, a back shoulder throw. So this is as safe as it gets. You throw it to the sideline and let your big boy, Bushman, go up and make a play. And what I like here is the mismatch. If you try to line up a safety against Bushman, it's automatically a mismatch. He has the body and he has the body control. You see him there, he shields off the defender, is able to reach out. Great pass, great catch by Bushman. Now we fast forward, next play, he lines up with his hand down the dirt. So like I said, BYU lined up as an H-back, as a slot. Line him up outside. Here, true tight end position, it's just gonna be a deep dig. And when things break down, you always can count on your big boy on a deep dig, on a deep crosser route, look for the big body. Zach Wilson has continued to develop this relationship with Matt Bushman, and they're going to need that to continue going forward. He was a big part of yesterday's game in the offense, and they're going to need it against Toledo.
So how would you go forward with utilizing Bushman in the offense?
I think you continue to move him around because, like I said, when you put a backer on him, a backer can't cover him because he's not fast enough. If you put him outside and you put a safety on him, a safety can't cover him because he's too big. So as long as you keep the defense on their heels a little bit, shift him around and give him different looks, I think that's when you start to get him utilized much more than he has been the weeks past.
Let me ask you this. As we know now, Tyson Williams is out for the season. How does the BYU offense change without him available?
I think BYU in the second half had to deal with it. Emmanuel Supka came in and played a fantastic second half. Lupini Katoa's going to have to step up. But no question, this was a huge blow. I mean, you talk about Tyson Williams, the season he'd had up till now. Yeah. He was the feature back for BYU. And so they're definitely have to go back to the drawing board on that one as well. But, I think the other guys are ready to step up. And fortunately, BYU has no more P5 opponents left on the schedule, so it gets a little bit easier. But at the same time, it's going to be a contribution by that running back core.
All right.
Next man up.
Yep. Thanks, guys. We appreciate your time in studio again today. Jeremiah, back to you.